When it comes to my videos, my thumbnails, or whatever YouTube shorts, whatever that has my physique and my build and stuff like that, you probably come across what I call the BBC look, the BBC build. Before anybody starts writing a whole dissertation in the comments, no, this isn't a build that's specifically supposed to be like all weird or fetish type. This is just a build that's supposed to be like a particular type of look that you see like with most like bigger like black dudes. As a name for the physique is basically a joke for what I call it. I just find it as a joke, but the physique is very much real. You see this build is being staged, muscle shredded. It's not you having a perfect V taper. It's not like you were gonna be 1 mil away from evaporating. It's just simply having a lot of muscle, like Sam Sulek bodybuilder, Trend Twins bodybuilder, whatever is like one of your like favorite type of like fitness YouTuber type of bodybuilder, like big bulky amount of muscle, big shoulders, thick arms, big chest, solid back, and some good leg genetics here and there. This physique basically being the enough muscle that basically people just look at you and be like, oh, you don't only just lift, you literally just look like a monster that's on steroids. You just literally just look like a beast. Less of a fitness model, more prison yard final boss. Like really, it's insane how big and bulky this physique is, but this physique is primarily important now due to the muscle inflation that's going on. Everybody's going to the gym. Everybody's trying to build like this skater boy lean physique. People are starting to like go away from that type of physique. So obviously most people are starting going to the gym now. So in this video, I'm going to explain how I built that physique. Simply, as you can see by the thumbnail, I don't have to simply show like pull out my shirt or whatever, just show my physique. That's pretty gay. How you can build it and why most people simply overcomplicate it, because of the fact that it's not really that complicated. You don't even need to be like specifically black to even build this physique, but it will help because of genetics, I guess. Speaking of genetics, due to the fact that it's the first thing I need to speak of first, due to the fact that obviously if you want to build that big bulky natural physique, you do need the specific genetics for it, regardless if you want to or not. I would like to make my own personal study here. Let's say we have two people doing the same regimen, the same training plan, the same intensity of that same training plan, same effort, same regimen, same everything. Most people think they'll gain the same amount of muscle. They're literally just the same person, even with just like different genetics, but not necessarily, no. As well, I like to specifically put two people in two specific categories when it comes to building muscle: low responders and hyper responders. Now, a low responder may be a person like the lean skater boy guy in the gym or whatever, like the guy who's like naturally lean. He's like, but like not lean in a good way, but more like a stick bug type of like very skinny guy. This is like a low responder guy, is the fact that he's gonna only build like a couple months into like the regimen, the training routine, he's only going to be like a decent amount of muscle mass, not as much muscle mass over time. And the hyper responders, where you get that more of that big bulky like physique, Sam Sulek physique, where it's like they only train for like 6 months simply, and they already look like a Marvel character, like they already look like some like comic book style muscular old Dragon Ball Z art style type of like muscular archetype type of character. And one reason that simply comes down to that physique is a gene called myostatin. Myostatin's goal is basically simple. Basically, it just has like a cap, like a level cap, like a video game or something, where it's like you have like a specific level that you can't go over. Basically it's like a cap. Basically, the amount of muscle that you gain, basically you just can't go over that amount of muscle. It helps regulate a predisposed amount of muscle that your body is supposed to be gaining. This is basically where life interferes when it comes to people who have a deficiency in the myostatin gene, due to the fact that a lot of people have advantages here when it comes to bodybuilding, just like, I guess you could say, red pill dominating other men. And so we're gonna like go full black pill. Some people are born rich, some people are born like naturally having like this deficiency in this gene that makes them be able to go over that cap and build even more muscle. I even need to like do a squat, simply just breathing there, a squat set, just touching a squat rack, and boom, you're just getting like 20 extra pounds to your quads, your hamstrings, your calves, other type of muscles that overall complements that physique, that makes it more bigger and bulkier for you. Here's the most important part right here. Most people blame genetics before they even look at their own potential. Like, you may have this myostatin deficiency gene that makes you be able to build more muscle over time without even having a muscular cap. Like, you can literally keep on building muscle, but you guys are probably lazy enough, because of the fact that you guys are like looking at like copious amounts of videos. You guys may have this like deficiency gene that's going to make you be able to have like a lot more muscle growth over time to be like that big bulky type of guy. And what matters far more is training and diet. That matters far more than this your own genetics and this weird black pill, whatever the heck type of belief system. I don't know, I'm not chronically online. And speaking of training, due to the fact that training is very important, due to the fact that I need to highlight training, due to the fact that training is literally the only, like, training and diet is basically the only thing that you should be like encompassing here when it comes to like building this big bulky type of physique. Not genetics. Who cares about genetics? Genetics is like one part factor. Building muscle is very more simpler. You don't need to go into like this David Goggins suffering mode or like this scientific nerd type of optimization type of person. I typically preach in his videos not to be that type of guy, to be scientifically optimized every single second. Just Let's be like a stupid like tart maxer, basically. Like when you see these guys posting like tart maxing videos, basically be a tart maxer. That's what most people are basically saying. Like just tart max in life. Don't get into the scientifically optimized, philosophical, sophisticated type of nerd type of person. Just like what for what? So you can impress somebody in like a pool party or something like that. Now I say it's easy, but it sure is simple. If it was easy, everybody would be like genetically like rich right now. Everybody would be genetically fit with like big bulky like veins, all that type of stuff, striations over their abs and stuff. Simply due to the fact that your body needs a reason to grow in the first place, to be able to build that big bulky convict like Sam Sulek bulky, like just like Cbum bodybuilder type of steroid filled physique. They're not there to say like a lot of like points and a lot of stuff right there. Okay, they're just say like a lot of like people and a lot of like different types of like physiques right there. But you know, like you can encompass it in your mind like what this physique exactly is. It's just like the lean skater boy, like what's his name? The David Lay small like skater boy physique. No, I'm talking like full like Cbum, like natural type of like guy, big bulky guy, Sam Sulek type of like bodybuilder type amount of muscle mass. Going back to training in general, whether you're training with calisthenics, weightlifting, plyometric, it doesn't matter. Your body needs a certain stimulus for those muscles to grow, specifically through progressively overloading as well by adding more sets, reps, or lowering the amount of rest time to have a reason for it to grow. More reps, more weight, better technique, less rest times. And that's basically the most tart max way I can basically say in this like entire point in this video, due to the fact that you basically don't need much of anything. Like I can basically just like, yeah, milk you guys for like the views and stuff like that, and be like, oh, buy my course, and like go into like the scientifically optimized brand and stuff like that. But no, I'm not going to do that because of the fact that I'm too lazy for one right now to basically go on an entire like scientifically nerd optimization rant. And with people using AI basically to simplify things, the most thing that you can basically do right now logically is just to tart max. Now going back to that point, your body will eventually adapt to the stress that's being put onto it, which is the reason why I say, okay, cool, just progressively overload here. Just keep on overloading those muscles regardless. If the amount of stress of your body never increases, then the same goes to your physique. Simply said and done. Now since this video is specifically also just now about like the big black guys have a build in general, God, this is starting to sound very gay. I'm starting to just chuckle at this fact, but you get like the type of physique that I'm trying to go out for and point out for. I'm gonna actually enhance how convicts actually have that big bulky type of physique. And the fact that if you ever go to a prison, you ever seen like videos of like jails and stuff like that, you see guys who specifically automatically have these type of physiques automatically, like the white guys, the black guys, the whatever type of guys. When you go to the like a jail or something like that, or you see videos of like jails and stuff like that, you can see like these guys automatically have these big bulky physiques. And this is why prison physiques are so interesting. Most prisoners obviously don't have access to fancy gyms and stuff like that. They don't have access to like the cardio equipment. They don't have access to like, I don't know, like plyometric equipment. Like they don't have access to nothing. Like they're just full like tart maxing their builds right now. But what they do have is specifically consistency in that mindset over time to basically think, okay, if I get bigger and bulkier, I get to dominate more minutes to like this prisoner cell, like some weird little red pill type of stuff. That consistency being push-ups, pull-ups, dips, bodyweight squats. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of reps right here, specifically just being pure body weight. Day after day, month after month, year after year, they're specifically doing this hard type of training stuff every single day. And their prison cells where they have obviously abundant time to specifically live 24/7 or like work out 24/7 since they're not doing anything by just like sitting in their cell. You know, eventually that consistency adds up over time. Look at Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's volume was insanely ridiculous. Now, would I recommend copying that exactly? Probably not. For example, look at guys like Andrew Tate as well. They all have that same type of training routine, that same type of training regimen when it comes to like building that calisthenic, like big, like bulky, like physique in like the prison cell. I specifically say again, would you want to copy that? No, of course not. I don't want to specifically say yes, you should copy that. No, of course not. I'm not specifically saying that, since that will burn you out in the long time, especially if you have your own type of like work that you gotta do 24/7. But this does prove a point that I specifically said in the training part. Your body doesn't care about what type of resistance that's going through. It just needs consistency. It cares about that effort, it cares about that progression, it cares about that overall consistency, where I specifically train push-pull legs every single day with my like routine here and there. 3 to 4 times a week, and I'm specifically also adding an upper day. Nothing revolutionary, nothing new, just a specific split that I specifically do with my regular progressively overload. And as you can see, that's just my YouTube thumbnail, my thumbnails, or just the whatever I put in this video online, whatever. You can see like how bigger and bulkier that I have my physique on. No ancient monk Taoist training principles, no like muscular like strengthening exercise, nothing, none of that. None of those like weird little like foreign Asian type of like bulky, bigger, like muscular growing like techniques. Very simple, just consistent training 24/7. That's basically it. Honestly, I think you guys are Honestly, I think you guys literally said simply just target matches, use ChatGPT at this point to enhance your builds. So the fact that a lot of you guys specifically look at like Greg the Study video and like a fitness paradise, what's his name? Fitness paradise. I don't even know how to say his name, but one of these guys online that's basically specifically like spamming like random content and stuff like that about scientifically optimizing your physique. I'm like, dude, just start. You can basically do that scientific optimization stuff later down the line, but right now when you're starting, what matters more is the consistency and if you're actually enjoying your workouts 24/7. Now, an important part between training is also dieting as well. So there's a lot of people overlook dieting because unfortunately you can't out-train a bad diet, but not every diet is the same, and not every diet may work for you. And diets are basically, most of diets basically are specifically just scams promoted by companies so they can basically, you buy their product, you buy their supplements, and they make more money. You see, humanity has been championing this challenge for decades to out-train a bad diet. Humanity keeps on continuing to lose due to the fact that your body has a thermogenesis effect through calories. If you see, calories is what determines if you're losing weight, maintaining weight, or bulking enough of weight. That's reality, not keto, not this weird carnivore, not this weird South Beach, Atkins, like all that type of stuff is literally just scams. Don't listen to any of those type of diets and stuff like that. Just do what you want to do with your specific diet. Due to the fact that, like I just said, most of these companies overall, they like promote these diets and stuff like that just so they can like scam you of like $2. These guys will literally sell you a diet course with the price of a Honda Civic. Think about it. Now, the only thing that matters here are calories. If you guys are specifically on a budget, you can't buy the foods in the first place to basically diet from. If you want to build muscle, you generally need to be in a surplus. If you want to lose fat, you generally need to be in a deficit. Or you just want to maintain both everything, you're just satisfied with your weight, you need to be in the caloric maintenance. Protein matters a lot here as well due to the fact that you can't build muscle eating like a raccoon in like a gas station. But once calories, protein, carbohydrates, and fatty acids, stuff like that are solved and involved, then it's really like easy and simple. You literally, the only thing you just need to do is just count the amount of calories and boom, you're done. One of my favorite meals is simple, just rotisserie chicken that you get from the grocery store and just rice. Cheap, high protein, easy. Just max my entire like diet right here. Just max this. Like this entire point, like I'm trying to max as much as possible due to the fact that you don't need like no scientifically optimized like, oh, lunch meat, oh, this is a metabolism killer, and there is no secret jail convict, there is no secret like, I don't know, racial, ethnic group diet. I'm not saying that term in this video anymore due to the fact that it's starting to sound very gay. Very simple, most impressive physiques are built with the same boring process. Get enough food, train hard, go gym, go gym, go gym, repeat, go gym, train hard, go gym, eat food, go gym, take steroids. Which is also another thing as well, which I also want to point out, like, jail food overall is not going to be good. Like, jail food is not going to be the one that's going to basically make you big, like, go bulk up in weight. Like, obviously, jail food is like another thing that like convicts have to eat, like, but it's not going to be obviously optimized for them to bulk up and weight. So what do the convicts eat? What else they're like doing their calisthenics training? Routine is like dinner, steroids, lunch, steroids, breakfast, steroids. That's basically it. And now the thing that matters more than what most people realize is basically your mindset. Most people don't fail due to bad genetics. Most people don't fail because they picked the quote-unquote wrong workout split. There is no quote-unquote wrong workout split or no wrong diet. Most people don't fail because they're optimized enough either. Most people fail specifically due to the fact that they're lazy and they quit. They make fitness miserable for themselves 24/7. Every meal basically becomes this weird little calculus numeral math homework. Every missed rep basically becomes a national emergency for them. See, the people who succeed when it comes to dieting and fitness are usually the people who basically just enjoy the process in the first place. Not just the result, but the process. Because overall, if you hate every second of the journey, eventually you will burn out and you will quit. And guys like me who generally enjoy having like a push-pull legs upper type of like 3-day, 4-day split, we will generally dominate other guys who are specifically training as hard or like being as scientifically optimized, like a David Goggins type of mindset type of guy. Eventually they just have like an entire breakdown 2 days later, specifically due to the fact that their training regimen is like so hard. Specifically, I used to do HIIT cardio every single day at 5 a.m. in the morning, 20 rounds, 1 minute working sessions, 30-second rest, and I would be burnt out every single day. And I would do that specifically because it was like quote unquote wrestling cardio, because of the fact that obviously I train in sports and stuff like that, football, wrestling, boxing, stuff like that. I was like, oh, if I do this 5 a.m. in the morning, this will help with my cardio. And that specifically didn't work for me because I burned out like less than like 2 weeks of doing it. I at least did this for like a week and a half and I quit. Why? The answer specifically being due to the fact that I just never enjoyed it in the first place. Fitness shouldn't feel like prison. You're simply trying to build like that jail convict, like P-Hub, actress, big, bulky, like Sam Sulek, Cbum type of physique. There's a big difference right there. Anyways, that's it for the video. As always, stay safe, God bless, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.